Hi, I'm Eamon. I'm a philosopher of science, but unlike Michael, I'm going to try to do this with slides. I mostly think about questions concerned with the epistemology of science, but also the nature of influence and just more generally scientific advance or change. The ideas in this little lightning talk are in many ways related to things we've been hearing a lot about already, mostly yesterday. If we were to give a more abstract rendering of the kind of thing that the metaverse is supposed to be, we might say that it's a kind of digital double of aspects of our analog world. But it's a strange kind of double, at least from the perspective of science, because it's whatever we want it to be. Increasingly, science also deals in digital doubles of aspects of the world. But unlike the metaverse, the digital doubles of science are supposed to be not whatever we want the world to be, but what the world is. The rise of AI has allowed us to generate fantastically sophisticated digital doubles of very particular systems of interest and ask and answer questions of the doubles rather than of the systems themselves. Of course, scientists have long made and interrogated doubles of the world. We call them models. It's just that the models of science have been rather poor substitutes for the otherwise bewildering tangle of complexity that pervades the world. What the human intellect can tease out of that complexity pales in comparison to the richness of today's digital representations. With these, we seek to predict, explain, and understand the behavior of the system under representation, just as we always have. Now, there are many ways to carve the world up into systems, and scientists have long a history of doing just that, generating a plethora of models of their systems of interest. And so too today. So in some sense, from a very high level perspective, much of the use of AI in science today is business as usual. Pick a system, identify a problem, create a double or a model of that system, study it, predict, explain, and understand it better. It's just that we're in a position to study more systems more quickly, with more precision and control, setting aside, of course, all of the relevant pressing epistemological, ethical concerns that I'm most interested in for the moment. We have another AI spring. A good deal of scientific advance or change is stimulated by surprise, however, surprising findings that violate our intuitions, but also surprising ideas or connections that were otherwise unimagined. And I want to propose a framework for operationalizing this latter form of event. Analogy is one process by which we make surprising connections. In analogous systems, we might say that the structural, syntactic, relational properties of two systems are highly similar, while their worldly semantic properties are significantly distinct. Science is replete with examples of analogies serving either the role of explanation or justification. For instance, Darwin famously modeled the underlying process of differential selection on that of selective breeding in animal husbandry, perhaps accomplishing both. Theorists, of course, have noted that the ability to think abstractly and analogically is a hallmark of general intelligence. But what they have in mind is a single AI system, and they see this as a prerequisite for something like AGI. My proposal is much more modest, to simply operationalize analogy making across digital doubles. Consider a digital double of some system. If that double is sufficiently rich, we should be able to predict the system that it stands as a double for. That is, the encoding of the system into a digital double should be such that it can be decoded as that very system. In practice, we look at a digital double, we predict the system that it represents with some probability. But of course, there are other systems that it might represent, but with lower probability. The idea then is that the system that is most probably represented by a given double, that is also most semantically distinct from the true system, is an analogous system. So in a space of representations, digital doubles, we say that two systems are analogous if they are highly structurally similar. That is, they predict one another with high probability from the semantic characteristics alone, but they're semantically highly dissimilar. In this way, scientists are furnished with candidate conjectures for analogous systems to explore. But this approach can also be used to improve our theories when we use it to compare our expectations of system behavior with the behavior of doubles. This is common in simulation, but it can also be done with more fineness of grain in the neural network setting. Recent work has attempted to align neural network predictions with predictions that we would expect from theory. In a way, this is a comparison of two doubles, one a digital double of the system, and the other a first principles model of the same system. In principle, we can create digital doubles of systems and of theories and compare them, with the hope that, in comparison, we can automate not the search for solutions to problems we currently are in pursuit of, but for anomalies which will facilitate restructuring of the very theories themselves. Thank you.